making over the loft in our home, and I have taken you guys along with me for the entire journey. The first step was figuring out what we were keeping and what was going, and then we needed to come up with a design. The first step to achieve the design was to paint, and that is where we began. I had been keeping a mood board on my computer where I spent many hours playing with how I wanted this room to come out. This room is the men's lounge, and my husband wanted it to be somewhat moody. So we leaned into the Ralph Lauren vibe while still trying to keep it cohesive with the rest of our home, somewhat. I don't often like to label any design in my home because I feel like it pigeonholes you into a specific item or furniture piece. I like what I like, and I always will lean toward furniture and accessories in that manner. This makeover was no exception. My husband has always liked the Ralph Lauren look, so I chose some design aspects from many of the looks, and I put them all together in what turns out to be a beautiful space. We knew that the paint color was really going to make or break the design. We are so happy with the blustery sky from Sherwin-Williams. It was the perfect color to marry this room with the rest of our home, which allowed us to bring in the moody vibe through furniture and accessories. Area rug for this room was hard. I wanted the rug to incorporate the blue on the wall, but not an excessive amount of it, just a hint. I also wanted the rug to be bold, and I think I nailed it with this one. It is absolutely gorgeous. Ernie really likes his cowhide, and I knew that it would look just perfect laid on top of the new area rug, and I was right. It was the perfect addition. We were lucky enough to already have two beautiful solid wood end tables and lamps that would work in the space. I'm on the hunt for new lampshades and haven't quite found the ones I want, but for now, these two tables and lamps finished off the area perfectly. I went back and forth on the style of coffee table that I wanted for this space. I knew I wanted one sturdy enough to hold a drink, but soft enough to put your feet up on. I found this one for a still at a consignment shop on a shopping whim one day, as if it was waiting for me the entire time. Selecting draperies for a space isn't easy, or maybe it is for some. I feel like most, including myself, mostly select beige or white draperies because it's safe. It isn't until you take the risk of selecting bold colors or patterns that you see how impactful they can be in a space. In an effort to create an even more impactful look, I decided to take these draperies all the way to the ceiling. It really added a dramatic feel to the room, especially with this beautiful velvet drape. We had a very large wall to fill, and Ernie had found some art from a consignment shop last year that he really loved. He really wanted to incorporate it in the design. These pieces are actually what led me to select the draperies that I did. The bronze and gold is now balanced on both sides of the room. I do like the art. They are great pieces from Z Gallery. I really wanted a collected gallery wall on this side, so we decided to hang the art to be part of a gallery wall that we can continue to add to as we find pieces that we love. Before we continue with the decorating, I needed to get the lampshades for my sconces covered. I ordered sconces and I thought the shades were going to be a wheat tone, and they came to me in a bright white. But that was okay because it gave me the opportunity to add some beautiful texture to the space. The first thing I needed to do was starch the fabric. The starch is going to give you a nice, crisp fabric to work with, and you want to make sure that there are no wrinkles in your fabric before you begin. Next, you're going to lay your lampshade on the fabric, seam side down. Your seam is your guide to where to start and end. Starting at the seam with the pen as you roll the shade, you want to trace all the way back to the seam. You will repeat this for both the top and the bottom. I chose to fold my fabric inside out and cut both at the same time. I chose to cut directly on the line, and a rotary tool would have been much easier, but I don't own one. When cutting, you can cut past the line to add fabric to fold over the edges of the lampshade. I'm adding trim, so it didn't matter for my project. I dry fitted them just to be sure, and you can see the fabric doesn't go all the way to the edges. Before I start to adhere it to the lampshades, I want to go ahead and fold one of the edges over ever so slightly, starch it, iron it, so that it's a nice, crisp, clean edge. This will be the finished edge of the lampshade. I actually bought a spray adhesive, but after reading the warnings, I decided on this one. I'm going to put a generous amount all over the fabric and then start to place it on the shade, smoothing the fabric as I go to avoid any wrinkling. If you're adding trim, you don't need to worry about any imperfections on the edges once you have the fabric on. The trim's going to cover it all. I just take my scissors and I carefully cut off anything that doesn't belong. Because my lampshades are going up against the blustery sky pink color and they are both in a deep blue tone, I wanted there to be some contrast. I chose this beautiful green bias and ribbon. I wasn't sure which I would use. I ultimately chose the bias as the colors are beautiful together. You can make your own bias out of the same fabric you used on the lampshade. They sell bias makers on Amazon and at your local fabric store. They are super easy to make. In my opinion, using the bias to trim out the lampshades gives it a much more professional look. This was the perfect addition to these sconces. My daughter-in-law even described them as regal, which is an amazing compliment. It is amazing what a little bit of fabric and time can do for a space. Tartan pillow covers would be amazing on the sofa, and eventually I'm going to add them. I'm just not willing to pay the $100+ per cover right now. But I did remember that I had these amazing pillows made in Italy that I purchased last year, and I believe they are the perfect addition to the space. Every common area of our home, we have blankets. This room is no exception. They've already been used by the grandkids. An antique rattan basket stuffed with cozy throws automatically adds a lived-in look to a new space. I found these 2 marble top side tables last year for a still. They are the perfect size to hold a drink and pair well with our tufted bucket swivel chairs. Adding a touch of whimsy to the end tables with a cute saying framed and a leather elephant, and opposite, a head planter and coasters. I found this beautiful leather tray and I knew it was going to be the perfect addition to fill with our barware. I added a few bottles, an ice bucket, a shaker, some wooden coasters, and cocktail napkins, and of course, a beautiful set of whiskey glasses to complete the look. I really wanted to incorporate at least one of my beautiful wooden shelves to the space, and this was the perfect spot. It also gave me the opportunity to create a beautiful moment in the space. We have a few more finishing touches to add to the space before I give you an overall look and tour of the room. We have a beautiful table and mirror here in the landing at the top of the stairs. I wanted to add some blue and white to the space, and this was the perfect opportunity to do that. Now that the room is mostly done, let's take a look at where we started. This room had no design, no purpose. It was just a hangout for the grandkids. It held some decor and furnishings that we liked and some that we used just to fill the space. There was no cohesiveness and it never felt warm. It took me 2.5 years to finally get to this space, and I suppose that sometimes you really have to live in a space before you can decide on a plan. A couple of the items never made it for this reveal, which is totally fine. It turned out beautiful, and I can't wait to share with you all how beautiful and absolutely cozy this space turned out. The room turned out exactly the way I envisioned it. You'll have to imagine the art above the sofa, which doesn't arrive until August, but even without it, it's a gorgeous room. The mood is on point and the purpose of the room is set, and Ernie gets to enjoy the art he loves so much in a very cohesive and well-decorated space. I wanted the room to feel as if it was collected over time, and I think I achieved that. By using old items with new and not taking the space so serious, it was easy to achieve. Taking a chance with color and pattern helped me to achieve my end goal, which was a space we wanted to hang out in. We have found ourselves coming up here and sitting just because. Goal achieved. Adding unexpected decor in a not so polished space makes it that much more special. A pillow found at a specialty shop and a print offline added a curated touch to the space that I absolutely love. The number one thing that has made me so happy about this room is that I was able to incorporate these prints into the design. And we hung them in a way that we'll be able to curate a gallery wall as we find things we love. It's a win-win. Adding special cocktail napkins to the bar is another touch that makes the space so special. I collect these napkins for my coffee bar, and it will be fun to start collecting them for this space as well. We all know that it wouldn't be a signature space decorated by Anna without some blue and white. This landing space was the perfect opportunity to toss in a couple of beautiful ginger jars. I hope you all enjoyed this decorating series of the loft. I'm so relieved that it's finished. Now I get to tackle the new guest room, and I can't wait. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment, and I would love for you guys to subscribe. I would love to hear your thoughts on the room, and I want to thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!